Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Coach Ron, Spiritual Teachings with Coach Ron. Tonight, I want to go over 5 of the most important things for having a healthy body spiritually. The first thing is spiritual foundation. Spiritual foundation is so important because it's so important for us to have a spiritual foundation, a spiritual relationship with God. In order to have a spiritual relationship with God, we must be able to communicate. Just like in any relationship with anybody, good communication makes a good relationship. So in order to have a good relationship with God, we must have a good spiritual foundation with God. And to do that, we need to be able to hear God speak to us, just like He hears us speak to Him. God is not somebody who forgets, so you don't have to remind Him. So if I pray something one time, I don't need to keep praying it. You know, all I have to do is say it one time to God. He remembers. Then all I have to do is sit and wait. If you have a question of God, and you ask God a question, how can you hear the answer if you're busy thinking? The most important thing is that we learn how to quiet our mind. Like 1 Thessalonians 4:11 says, study to be quiet, work with your own hands and mind your own business. When I quiet my brain, now I can hear God speak to my mind of Christ. If I don't quiet my brain, how am I supposed to hear Him? You hear how quiet it is in here? This room is filled with silence. And one of the most important things that we can listen to is silence. In the silence, God dwells. And when we listen to the silence, we can hear God speak to us. So when I ask God a question, is He going to answer me immediately? You know, when we ask a person a question, we expect them to answer us when we ask them the question. But God doesn't work that way. God sits back and He waits to see if you're going to wait on Him. You know, it's so important that we as His children wait on Him. Just like your mom or your dad, you ask them a question and they don't answer. Sometimes we might press them a little for the answer. But if they don't give it to us right away, what can we do? And it's the same way with God. So it's best to just quiet your mind. Quiet your brain. And the best way to quiet your brain is to watch your thoughts. There's a door over here. And if somebody comes in that door, even though I might look at them through this mirror, I'll recognize them. I don't even have to turn around because I see them through the mirror. But I will immediately recognize who comes in the door. So I'm watching who comes to that door, who enters. It's the same way when it comes to the doorway to our brain. It's important that we watch our thoughts because the Bible says, your ways are not my ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. So here's God telling us that He doesn't think like we do. So a lot of times we put God in a box and we think that God will do this or God will do that. A lot of times, you know, God won't do things the way we think He should. That's because He's God. Have you ever asked your parent to do something you thought they was going to do it one way and they did it another way? Well, that goes to show you your way of doing something was not their way of doing it. And it's the same way with God. So it's important that we find that oneness with God. Have you ever had a girlfriend and you guys were really tight, or a boyfriend and you guys were really tight, you communicate really well, he listened to you, she listened to you, you know, you can talk for 5, 10, 15 minutes and then just sit back and listen and pay attention? Well, if I'm thinking while you're talking to me, guess what? I'm going to miss something. And I'm not going to get the complete understanding that I should get. So if I'm thinking while you're talking, guess what? I'm not listening because I'm not paying close attention. So it's important that when we're communicating with other people, that we're not thinking. So therefore, it's the same way with God. If I'm communicating with God, should I be thinking? And the only trick that Satan has is to make his voice sound like your thinking voice. Just like my voice. Some people are used to hearing my voice. They can have their eyes closed and hear 5 or 10 voices, and they say, oh, that one right there, that's Coach Ron. Because they're used to hearing my voice. It's the same way inside your head. You're used to hearing your thinking voice. So now you can be sitting and thinking something, and Satan will watch you thinking that, and then he'll throw other bad stuff. You can be thinking something good. And then he'll start to think. I mean, he'll start to throw some voices in there that sound like your thinking voice to make you think that you're actually thinking that. And then you'll take hold of that thought. But it's not good for us to do that. That's why sometimes it's not even good for us to think about good things, because it'll lead to us thinking about something bad. I can think about, my ex-wife and how good of a Christian she was. She was such a beautiful woman. And then as I'm sitting there thinking them thoughts, then Satan will make his voice sound like my voice and say, yeah, but what about when she used to forget stuff all the time? You come home and she forgot to cook dinner. Or she forgot to get what you told her to get from the store. Or she forgot to pay this bill. Then before you know it, you're calling her all kind of bees and everything. She wasn't no good woman, no way. Because now you've taken root of the thoughts that he planted. Because you thought they were your thoughts, but they actually wasn't. So we have to watch our thoughts. Number 2 on the list. So number 1 is spiritual foundation. Spiritual relationship with God. Oneness with God. Number 1. Number 2, meditating on nothingness. Being able to just have your brain like this silent room and meditate on that nothingness. It gives you so much peace. Not only does it give you peace, but it will take you to where God is inside. The Bible calls it the secret place where the Most High dwells. And that's inside. God dwells inside of us. And we have to look inside and go inside of ourselves. This body is just a shell. The me that God made has no name. Coach Ron only identifies this body, this shell. But who I am has no name. And the name that I do have, only God knows that name. The real me, you can't see, smell, touch, hear. None of that. I was going to say taste, but okay. But my point is, it's important for us to meditate on nothingness. We can meditate on how much I want to buy this car, how much money I want to make. We just sit and think about that. But the Bible tells us what to think on. If you're going to think on anything, think on these things which are pure, these things which are lovely, these things which are of good report. If you're to think on these things. So meditating on nothingness is very, very important. Number 3 on that list that's going to give you a healthy spiritual foundation and a healthy spiritual body. And if you're healthy spiritually, you'll be healthy physically. And that's number 3 is yoga. Yoga, man, I don't want to do no yoga. You don't have to do a lot of yoga. You could do 5 minutes of yoga 4 or 5 times a week. And guess what? It's going to strengthen your muscles. It's going to make them more flexible. You won't get as injured as easy when you work out, when you play sports. I started my son doing yoga in 8th grade, and when he was a freshman in high school, he played 4 sports. Started off 4 sports, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And guess what? Never got hurt. He played both sides of the ball in football, offense and defense. Only time he ever got hurt was, I think he hurt his tailbone. But he still played. He didn't sit out any games. Tailbone is not a muscle. Number 4 on the list, giving. Why is giving so important for spiritual healthiness and for physical healthiness? Very simply, because when you give, you're thinking about more than yourself. You're thinking about your brother, man. And God tells us to love our brother as we love ourselves. So why should I not give myself something good? If I would give myself something good, then of course I'm going to give someone else something good if I want to love my brother as I love myself. So giving is very important. And if you give something, you don't complain about it. I hate people that give something and they complain about giving. Yeah, I had to give him $50 for his phone bill. He gets on my nerve. But you want that person to have gratitude. How is that person going to have gratitude for somebody who's complaining about giving them something? And there are people who give away Or I took all this stuff down to the Goodwill. Or I took all these old clothes to the Salvation Army. So you think because you took some old clothes that you didn't want to the Salvation Army or to the Goodwill, you did something big. And God is pleased. No. Give them some brand new stuff. Give them something that you want. Now God is pleased because you're giving something that you wanted, that was special to you, that was good to you. Number 5 on the list, exercise, sexercise. Exercise, sexercise. What? Exercise, sexercise. Sexercise, baby. I said it's sexercise. Sex is very good for you. Exercise is very good for you. And sex is exercise, whether you know it or not. So all you married couples, if you're not married, exercise. But if you're married, it's of God for you to sexercise, because you're going to have a healthy sexual relationship with your wife. Find out what she likes. Ladies, find out what he likes. Give it to him, you know, and guess what? You have a healthy sexual relationship. It'll be good, and it'll be great exercise for each other. And it does the body and the spirit good. I'm going to talk to you guys about spiritual lovemaking one day, but I got to get a patent on it. After I write the book, I'll talk to you about spiritual lovemaking, which only can be done by married couples. So that's the list: spiritual foundation, meditating on nothingness, yoga, giving, and sexercise, exercise. This has been Spiritual Teaching, Coach Ron.
In God's holy word of power, soon it will be God's appointed time. Not by your schedule, certainly no.
You're involved in a motor vehicle collision. The at-fault driver's insurance company calls you. They tell you they want a recorded statement. They also tell you don't call an attorney. Whose interest do you think they're looking out for? It's not yours. Email the Jansen Law Center concerning your claim.
Jay Jansen. One name says it all.
The Human Performance Lab.
Joe's an awesome therapist and trainer. He knows what he's talking about.
I came to Joe Terry to hopefully get better with my speed and agility, and then also develop some strength along the way.
The program is difficult, but when you get through it, you feel a lot better about yourself, and you can feel yourself changing and feel you getting better.
Progress is monitored with professional quality video assist and a complete sports performance evaluation. The Human Performance Lab for athletes and those competing in the sport of life.